And so, have you been able to explore any of the neighborhoods yet, or check it out at all?
Yeah, I've been to a few of the neighborhoods. They're pretty nice. Yeah, everything's been pretty great so far.
And you guys just started shooting Neighborhood Watch, right? So, what's that movie going to be all about?
Ben Stiller and Vince Vaughn and myself started Neighborhood Watch, and it's going to be pretty awesome. It's pretty hilarious.
Any other hints we can get about?
Not
about
right
what,
now.
Not yet.
Can't tell you what happens yet. You'll see when the trailer comes out. It's going to be pretty crazy.
Well, you look great, and I know everybody wants to know about the workout schedule and changing of your physique. I mean, you look great. Everybody wants to know what made you make the change.
I just decided one day I wanted to be healthier, and I went and saw a nutritionist, and that's what I did. Stuck to it.
But are you still considered the fat guy when you go to a party or anything? Because I run into that a whole lot. I'm the fat one. So are you the fat guy in Hollywood still, or is everybody like look at you and they're like, oh wow, this is great, now you're healthy?
Do you have any other questions that are smart?
I have a question because you're in Atlanta and you had this great story about a run-in with Jermaine Dupri.
Yeah.
So are you going to look him up while you're in town? You know he lives here.
Oh, I don't know if I see him. I'll see him. He's great. He's hilarious.
Do you think he'll remember you?
I don't know. You'd have to ask him.
Okay. And I know you're a Real Housewives of Atlanta fan.
Yeah, for sure.
So tell us
where do they all live at?
Okay, they live right up. Who's your favorite housewife?
Tardy for the party.
Kim Zolciak. And Kim just got engaged. Do you have any words for Kim?
To Big Daddy? Or
no, to Croy, the football player.
Oh, really? Oh, man. Well, good luck. I wish you all the best. Thanks for all the memories. I won't be tardy for the party.
So have you been happy so far with how Moneyball's been doing? It's been, pulling in pretty decent amount of cash so far.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think about how much money a movie makes, really, especially a movie like that, where it's really not about making a bunch of cash.
This is not Lord of the Rings, yeah.
Well, no, not even that. It's Lord of the Rings is a great movie. I think you can't make a movie because you think it'll make a bunch of money. I made Moneyball because I thought it would be a beautiful movie, and I'm really proud of it. And everything that could have come from it for me has already come. As far as being viewed in a different way, or being able to do different kinds of movies, it's been really great.
About Ellen and Gregory, how did you go about pitching this to Fox, and how hard was it to get them to make it into a show?
Well, we didn't pitch it, we just wrote it on spec, which means you just write it for free and hope someone buys it. But Fox had asked me to be the voice of an animated show, and I said, if I'm the voice of an animated show, you probably wouldn't want to put a show that I created on the air. And they said, well, you haven't created a show. And I was like, well, give me a minute. And I went with Jared and Andy, my co-writers, and we wrote this in about 3-4 weeks and came back to them, and they bought it, and a couple years later we're on after The Simpsons. Very exciting.
So you're working with Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
Did you guys talk about that Saturday Night Live sketch about tiny balls?
Yeah, we did. He told me he was going to do it beforehand, and I said, that's hilarious, you should go for it.
So you thought it was funny?
I thought it was very funny.
It was funny.
Ben's a hilarious guy. I was with him all day today, him and Vince, and it's great. It's really fun.
So what do you make of the Atlanta suburbs?
What do I make of them?
Yeah, is it different?
They're very pretty. They're very pretty. I mean, everything here is really pretty, like aesthetically, I'm kind of not getting a feel for the neighborhoods quite yet of like where I'm supposed to hang out as a 27-year-old dude, so I don't really know.
Midtown.
Midtown,
That is where you need to go.
Okay.
Virginia Island.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I mean, these all sound like just words to me. There's no real meaning behind any of them, but I'll take your advice for sure.
The principal love interest in the show is really different and really cool. I'm wondering, how did you decide to have the older woman love interest, and are you into older women?
That's a big question.
Well, we pride ourselves on the fact that we are the only show probably ever and will ever be on television with the love story being between a 7-year-old and an 80-year-old. I think that just has never been done before, and I think definitely not as graphic of a sex scene between a 7-year-old and a senior citizen. we just thought it'd be funny if he was into the most unexpected person, and then he's really mean to the teacher, who's really beautiful, played by Leslie Mann and Gina. We thought it's funny that she's this like aesthetically perfect, charming woman, and he's so mean to her, and he's so into this crabby old, gross-looking woman that we just found it made him more interesting. It just made kind of tells you a lot about this weird guy. That he's in love with this old woman, and his love sees no age, specifically age.
Excuse me. So you've done some voice work before in like Megamind and How to Train a Dragon, but was it much more difficult to do voice acting for a TV show compared to traditional acting?
No, the only difference here is that we wrote this stuff, myself and Jared and Andy and the writers. So to me, this has been the most, not personal because it's nothing like my life or anything, but the most I've put into this and 21 Jump Street are the two things I've put the most of myself and time and years of my life into. So the outcome and the reception is important to me because it's something that I put a lot of my own time and energy and words into.
There was this feud with Matthew Morrison that you talked about on Jimmy Fallon. Is that still going on?
Yeah, well, he said he wanted to throw down on Jimmy Fallon, so I guess we're going to box next time I see him.
Seriously?
No, I don't care. He seems awesome. I was totally I thought it was funny, so I was just calling him out. I thought the stories were real, but it's all in fun. I could, I'm sure he could care less and I could care less. And he was cool to make that video back. It was funny. And that being said, it's on.
So if you saw him in a bar, are you guys hanging out or are you brawling?
No, I'd go say hi to him, see what was up, ask him why he said that stuff. I'm sure he's a great guy. That was more of a joke than anything else. I thought it was funny.
It was very funny.
One more question. Why did you decide to have the screening at Georgia Tech instead of any other university in Atlanta or Georgia? Do you Tech more awesome, or?
I don't know. They just asked me. I said I'd like to do some college screening in Atlanta, and Georgia Tech was where they told me I was going. So I'm proud to be here. That's all I know.
So, as we know, you're a huge Simpsons fan, and The Simpsons is so well known for having all kinds of celebrities either play themselves or be on the show. Is that something we're going to expect on Alan Gregory? And if so, who's on your wish list?
I don't know. I think we may have some people guest star, like Elizabeth Banks, Jeff Goldblum are on this season. Who else? Yeah, Elizabeth Banks and Jeff Goldblum are guest stars this season. They don't play themselves though. I don't know. We just like having people we think are funny or interesting come on the show. It's not really about just trying to get famous people on the show. It's more about if we write a funny character, who would be a cool actor or actress that we would love to see play them. And Jeff and Elizabeth both were who we wanted to play these parts, and they came and did it, so it was great.
Why did you pick Patrick Stewart? How did that come about?
He was just amazing. I mean, him and Nat, who play Richard and Jeremy, the two dads, they were the only people we would have ever wanted to play these parts.
Wow.
They created so much more than that was there, and it was like we just heard the characters' voices for the first time when they came and auditioned. It was cool.
We got to see the preview tonight for The Sitter, so everybody excited about that one coming out. And like you said in the Q&A, having the Moneyball and The Sitter coming out in the same year has to feel pretty amazing. How do you feel about that?
It's great. I mean, it's incredible. I think I'm starting to have a really diverse career, and that to me is all I could ever ask for. To have in 3 months have Moneyball, Alan Gregory, and The Sitter come out is really unique and cool. I don't know a lot of actors or performers or writers who have 3 things that are so different from one another. Like if you watch Moneyball and The Sitter, it's like the performances are unrecognizable from each other, and I think that's really cool. That's all you could ever want to do as an actor. The guys I really look like. I think Cyrus and Getting to the Greek coming out last year, same thing. They're kind of very different performances, and I just feel lucky, and I'm going to keep trying to have diversity in what my choices are.